So welcome to my YouTube channel. So on this video I'm going to be showing you how to join this piece together. I've done a video of this. This is a crop top and also a short skirt. So this is the skirt and we have the crop top. But for this video the crop top has a zip. It comes with a zip. So I'm going to be showing you how to sew this on this video. So the first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to cut the lining piece for this. So can you follow the steps? If you don't know how to draft this, check out my previous video of how I showed you how to draft a two-piece top and skirt. Thank you. So I have the lining for this. So this lining, I'm going to be taking out the lining. Okay. I'm going to be taking out the linings. So I'm sure you take out all the pins. You have to pin when you get to attach the lining. So this is the crop top, like I mentioned. It has the zipper and this is the skirt. So the first thing we are going to do is to leave the skirt and then place the crop top aside. I'm going to place the crop top aside and then work on the skirt. I'm trying to separate the lining from the crop top and also that of the skirt. So I'm going to be working on the skirt. So first off, I'm going to go over to my sewing machine. I'm working it on the front side of the skirt. You can see I'm trying to locate the front side of the skirt and this is it. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine and place the fronts facing each other. This is the front, you can see. This is the front and also this is the back. Always note that for your African prints, there are fronts and there are back. For some other African prints, we have the front and the back the same. So I'm going to place these together. The front of the interface to the front of the African print, and then I'll go over to my sewing machine, and then on this is I'm going to sew half an inch beneath this, and when I'm done sewing I'm going to bend and then sew all the sides together. So first off I'm going to sew this half an inch and then I'm going to do how it looks like. So I'm gonna head to sew the, remember I said we are going to sew down, so let me show you how it is. So this is half an inch. I know it's very dark, but when you look carefully, you can see the seams on the other side. You can also see the seam. So I'm gonna have to sew half an inch. Then the next thing you're going to do, you also bend with your hand. This is half an inch. You bend. When you bend, you will sew half an inch for every side, from this end to the other end of the seam line. Let me take this again. After sewing from this place to this part, from one end to the other side with half an inch, you are going to bend. Why I'm doing this technique is because I want the closing to be on the waistline. So at the end of the skirt, you are not going to see any seam on that. So this is another way of sewing the skirt and it makes it look very neat. So like I said, you're going to bend on the part you sew. You bend with half an inch. After bending with half an inch, you are going to take this. So that means the lining comes up. So take a look at it. This is the lining. It's laid flat. So when you bend with half an inch, like this, when you bend with half an inch and so you notice your lining shifts up. So when you have this, when you have these defects, that's not a problem. Just know that you're on the right track. So I'm going to sew with 0.5 from this part to the upper part, and I'm also going to repeat on the other side, and then I'll show you how it looks like. So I'm going ahead to sew from one end to the other. As you can see, we have some excesses, so that's not a problem. So what you're going to do is to take out all the thread, and then you trim out every part of this. So like you can see me, I'm trimming out some of this part. I don't regret it, I'm taking out all the threads. So please do the same. Trim out, and once you're done, don't forget to also give it a good press. And once you're done, return out. This is what we're trying to achieve here. Turn it out. Make sure all the edges are out. So I've gone ahead and I've done the turning, and this is what we have. This was what I mentioned when I say you bend your lining, so you can see how neat it is. And I'm going to give it a good pressing. Also, I did the dart. So this is the dart. You can see this is the dart. I'm going to be showing you on the back of the skirt. So this is the front of the skirt, and I'm going to put it aside. And also, I did the same for the back of the skirt. So this is what we have. You can see I've not done that for this, but I've also done it for this one. So I'm going to be showing you how to take your darts. Mind you, this is a freehand video. It's not a pattern. So I'm gonna head to do the turning, and this is what we have. So this is how it is. Remember when I said you should bend the lining, bend and sew. So this is the perfect. You can see how it is, and also I've done taking my darts. As you can see, this is my like that. I'm taking it, and I also did the same for the back. I'm going to show you the back. I just want to put that aside, and this is it for the back. I'm gonna head to turn the lining. I took my dart here, so I will show you why I did my dart. Mind this is a freehand. This is a freehand video. It's not a pattern video. So this is my dart here. So this is my dart here. This notched part. This notched part is my dart. So you're going to fold it inward, and then you can see I've already gone ahead to mark. So you go in by half an inch and then sew all the way down. How would you get to know the length is by 5? Just measure from this place to this part 5, and then you sew it downward by 5 inch. Sorry, the length is 5 inches. So this is it. I just want to show you again. You place your tape here. You place your tape here, and then you measure downward 5, and then you sew. So when I'm done sewing, I'm going to show you how it looks like. So after sewing, make sure you iron all the sides. So when we're done with this, I'll show you how we're going to sew the crop top with the zip at the back. So I've gone ahead to take the dart and also I've ironed. So this is what we have. So you can see how I took it. I did not sew it straight. I started sewing, and then I was curving my hands, and then I got to this point and did a very tight stitch. So make sure you follow this process. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we'll start off with the crop top. For this crop top, like I mentioned earlier, it has a zip at the back. There's a zipper. So first off, you match your front facing each other. Remember, lining does not have front or back, so whichever part works. I'm going to put this together, the lining facing the front, and then you sew with half an inch from this part from one edge of the neckline to the other edge of the neckline. I'm going ahead to mark this on the lining so you would understand. Make sure you sew with half an inch. What we have here is 0.5. Make sure you do 0.5. If you don't know what 0.5 on your tape, so this is 0.5. So this is 0.5. Make sure you have this. You place it. If you can't sew with your free hand, you mark all the way around. I had to mark this, so it will be everyone will understand what I'm talking about. You will understand that. Thank you. So I'm going to sew from this edge to the other edge, as you can see. And when I'm done, I'll repeat the same process on the back neckline. We also have the back neckline here. I'll repeat the same process on the back neckline, and when I'm done, I will show you how it looks and the next we're going to do on the crop top. So I've gone ahead to sew. Like I mentioned, I've gone ahead to sew, and then there's what we call top stitching. So I'm going to be top stitching the neckline, but before top stitching, I need to notch. And so this is what is called notching. Just trim it. You just cut it with your scissors. So this is what you get. You can see this is what they call notching. When you are done notching, when you want to top stitch, you open the two sides, and then you bend the fabric, your fabric facing the lining. Please take a look at it. Let me take this again. After notching, this is what you get. Don't notch into this line of your seam, else you're going to mess it up. So after notching, you open up your seam like this. You open up the fabric, and then you bend. Don't bend to the fabric. Don't bend the lining to the fabric. Rather, bend the fabric to the lining. So when you bend the fabric to the lining, you are going to sew with either 0.25 inch or half an inch, just the way you did for the neckline. You sew it all the way around. When you are sewing, make sure your seams are on the lining, they are not on the fabric. I will show you on the back neckline, because I've already top stitched on the back neckline. And mind you, the notches are not important. For this back neckline, I did not notch. You can see they are not notching, but sorry, not this rather. Sorry. Okay, so for this back neckline, I did not notch, but I top stitched. You can see I did notch, but I top stitched. So like I mentioned when I said you bend the fabric facing the line, you can see after sewing, I bend the fabric facing the lining. When I sew, you can see the seams are on the lining. They are not on the fabric. They are just on the lining, and this is what you will get when you top stitch. So this is what you will get. You can see how neat it is. You have this effect, and for the back, this is how it will look like on the lining. This is how it will look like. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to do that now. So like I mentioned, you open the lining, and then you open your lining, and then you open your fabric and your material, and then you make sure this fabric is resting on the lining, not the lining resting on the fabric. Please, I'll take this again. Make sure the fabric is resting on the lining, and then you just sew on top of it like this. You sew it on top, either with half an inch or 0.5. You sew it on top of it like this all the way around, and then this is what you will get after sewing. After sewing, this is what you would get. This is how it would look like. This is how it would look like after sewing, and the front would look like this. The front also would look like this. It will be neat. It will look like this. It will look like this. So when I'm done sewing, I'm going to show you how to bend the sides. So I'm gonna head to top stitch, and then when you're top stitching, I'm gonna head to top stitch, and also I've sewn the zipper line, and also I've sewn the side of of the crop top. So I did the same thing for the front as well. I top stitch. So this is what we have. Remember I said the lining, the material should face the lining, and then I sewed from one edge to the other. I did on the other side. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do for the zipper part. Remember, this is our neckline and this is the zipper. So when you want to top stitch, you open it up. You open it up and make sure this material is facing, this fabric is facing the lining, and you sew. When you are getting to this part of the neck, you make sure your sewing becomes very, very slim. Very, very slim. It shouldn't be very wide. After sewing, you bend it this way and then sew. So first of all, let me go and top stitch. When I top stitch this one, I'll show you how to bend. Okay, so I've gone ahead to top stitch. I've gone ahead to top stitch, and you can see at this edge, my sewing was very slim. You can see it. Please just pay attention to it. You can see how slim it is. All right, so when you want to bend when you want to close up this zipper side, don't sew this way. Please pay attention to it. Don't just open up and then you close this way. No, rather just when we bend for the skirt, you then place already this. After top stitching, this line is already giving you a guideline of how to bend the fabric. You just bend your fabric like this. It's already bent. You can see it's already bent. If you had sewn it on the Ankara, it would have been giving you the same result on that other side. So you just bend and then you sew it down. Let me use my chalk to mark so you all would understand. You would understand this. So you bend. I have to use this ruler so you understand. The reason why this line is not straight is because our bone, the back on our bone is not straight. If you notice, there's a curve. If you look very well, there's a curve. So when you are doing yours, make sure you are not having it straight. As the zip will be, how did they speak English? The zip will budge out. So this is it. Remember, you bend and then you sew this way. So I'm going to bend and sew this way. When I'm done, I'll also repeat. I'll also close the side. But this time around on the side, I'm not going to be bending. I need to mark out this line so all of them will understand what you are talking. Fashion is not difficult. If you want me to speak pidgin, I'm ready to use pidgin for this class or for the next class going forward. Make everybody for the alright understand what you are talking for this tutorial. So that's it. You can see the lines. After bending, you sew straight down on the side of the crop top. Remember, this is the armhole. You sew it half an inch. You can see I've marked it. So when I'm done sewing, I will iron all the sides. Make sure you have a good steam ironing. I'll iron all the sides and then I'll show you how it looks, and then we will start joining each of them. Follow this step. If you don't understand, watch this video again, you will understand. So I have to show you before I iron. So look at it. You can see I bend it and then I sew to the end of it, and also at this other edge I've sewn from this part to the end. So I'm going to open it up right now and show you how it is before. Please don't close this part. I beg. No, not closer. Don't close this part. I beg, I beg. If you close this part, this is your shoulder. You won't be able to join it properly. It will just be looking funny on you. Don't close this part. This is shoulder. Not close this part. So I'm going to turn it and show you how it looks on the other side. You can see it's really coming out nice and it's neat. So the next thing is just for you to iron. Iron all the sides, iron all the seams, and you get a very clean job. So you can see that part I said you should bend and sew to the end. You can see how it looks. See how neat it is. And look at the side. You can see how neat it is. So right now, I'm going to iron all the seams, and then including for the skirt, and then I'll show you how to join this piece together. Like I mentioned, watch this video again if you don't understand. If you understand that. So I'm gonna head to iron all the seams, like I mentioned. So right now, I also cut out a long strip that I'll use in closing the upper part of the skirt. So this is the back of the skirt, and I have two strips here. I have two strips here. So this is it. So you just take one part of the skirt. Take one part of the skirt, and then this is the front of the long strip, or whatever you call it, and then the fronts facing each other like we always do. Okay, no, and then you place it this way. Yes, the front face. Sorry, you place it this way. The front facing the back. Sorry, the back facing each other. I'm sorry. Let me come again. When you get the rope of your skirt, this is the front of it, and this is the back. This is the front of your skirt, and this is the back. So right now, you're going to place the back facing the back of the skirt. That's the back of the strap facing the back of the skirt, because you are turning it to the other side. So this is it. You place this back facing this back. Remember, this is the front of the strap. This is the back of the strap. You can see the difference. You use your pin. If you have your pin, you use your pin to hold it. And then before you use your pin to hold it, you take out maybe half an inch to close the front. And then you would sew from one edge to the other, just the way you close the front. You do the same thing like this. We have an SS. It's good you have an SS, so you can always trim off. So when you are sewing, remember, you're going to have it something like this. You are going to sew from this edge to this edge. You sew from this edge to this edge. That is with 0.5 inch. When I'm done sewing, I'll show you how to turn it So when I'm done doing this, I'll repeat the same process for the other side and for the front of the skirt, and then I'll show you the final look. So I've gone ahead to use my strap. You can see I've used my strap, and then when you're turning, you can see I close the two edges. I close the two edges, I close this, and also I close this as well. So I'm going to open it up. You open it up, you have this clean edge. You do the same thing for the other side, and then when you are done, this is what you have. So this time around, you are going to bend into two places and then sew. Okay, I'm just going to show you with some of my things. So you bend. So this is what you have. You bend your skirt this way. You bend with half an inch, and then you bend again with another half an inch. I'm just going to use an office pin to hold this. Please, this is not difficult. You bend again, and then I'll use an office pin to hold it. If you are used to this, I don't think you need an office pin, but because of the purpose of this tutorial, I had to use an office pin so everyone would understand how it is. Because usually when I want to sew this, I don't use an office pin to bend. So you just know that if you can't use your free hand, like I mentioned, this is a free hand video, you follow this step, like using an office pin to bend. So this is how it will look. You can see the back, and this is the front. So you are going to sew on the edges. You sew on the edge, and when I'm done, I'll show you how it looks like. So I'm done. So this is how it looks. You can see each of the edges, and this is the back. This is the back, and this is the front of one side of the skirt. Remember, this is the zipper part. This is the back of one side of the skirt. So I'm going to repeat the same process for the other side of the zipper of the back, and also I will repeat the same process for the front of the skirt. So when I'm done repeating the process for the back, for the other back of the skirt and the front of the skirt, I'm going to give you a good press, and then I'll show you how to do the same for the crop top. So I've gone ahead to close it down just the way we did for the skirts, and this is it. This is for the back of the crop top, and this is for the front of the crop top. What we did for the skirts, I also repeated the same thing for the crop top. So just follow the step and you won't miss it. So the next thing, there's not going to be that on this crop top. It's a dartless crop top. So the only thing we have here is zip. We're going to be having zip for this, and the next thing we're going to do is to you go to your sewing machine, and then you sew. You either sew with 1 inch, whatever allowance you give for your zipper, you do that. You give a straight sewing to the end, and after that, after you're done, you open up, and then you take the measurement of your blouse. Sorry, you take the measurement of your bust, and then you sew straight down. So when I'm done fixing the zipper, I'm going to show you how to join it together. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix the zip for the back for the blouse. So this is what we have. So this is what you should get. I fixed the zip, and now I want to join them together. So the first thing we are going to do is to mark our measurement, and the measurement I'm working with is 42 divided by 2. 42 divided by 2 is we have 21. So I'm just going to mark 21. Mind you, I'm not going to mark the exact waist measurement because it's a crop top. It's not a fitted crop top whereby this part of the body that is the just going to take my camera down a bit. That is, this part is so tight. Is a crop top where it's very free on this part of our waistline. Although my waistline is up, you get, but ours is she wants the crop top to be here, and it's not going to be too fitted. So, but if you want yours to be fitted, you take your exact waist measurement and then put your zipper. But for this customer, she wants it to be a bit free on the waistline. So that's why I'm just taking a bust measurement, and then I'm just going to sew it straight down. So that's what we are doing for this video. So we have 40. We have 42. So I just measured what I have there, and then yes, I have the same thing. So I'm just going to take my rule, and then I will rule straight down. You can see what I'm doing right now. I'm rolling straight down. But if actually I wanted it to be fitted, and then for example, if your waist is let's say after dividing into 2 you have 19, you put, and then when you roll, this is the shape you get. For those using your exact waist measurement, you have this result. You can see 2 lines. You have this result. So let me show you again. If actually you are taking your exact waist measurement, when you are sewing, it's going to come slantly. You can see this first line, but that's not what we're going to be working with. this one that comes slantly is the exact waist measurement, but I'm just going to be working only with the ball. So I'm going to be sewing straight from this part to this end, and I'll repeat the same thing from here straight down. I'm not going to be working with this line. So when I'm done joining these two pieces together, I'm going to show you how it looks. So while joining the two sides together, I forgot to mention the sleeve, because we need to sew the sleeve with the blouse. So with the crop top rather, yeah, we need to sew the sleeve with the crop top. So then I'm going to be showing you a video of how to cut the sleeve. The sleeve we are doing is just a very small sleeve, and what I'm doing on this sleeve is a freehand cutting. I'm not using the pattern method. So even if you don't know how to do this, when you watch this video, you will understand that it's been done. So first off, not to confuse everyone, I'm just going to be cutting the first sleeve. So whatever I do on this first sleeve, you repeat the same on the second sleeve. So I've gone ahead to fold my sleeve into two, and then I have my starting line, which it's just a straight line. This is just a guide, nothing serious. It's just a guide for the length of the sleeve that I want to impute. So right now from this line that I drew, I'm going to come down by 8. 8 is the original length of the sleeve, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for the sleeve sewing. So you can either add 1.5 or 2. So it all depends on the kind of folding you want to do for the sleeve. So after that is done, I'm going to place the shoulder measurements. The shoulder measurement I have for this is for this client is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. So I'm going to mark. You can see I've marked, and then I would come down. You either come down by 3.75 or 4. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to come down by 4, and then I will draw a straight line. But if it's the pattern way of cutting sleeve, there I always where they calculate. For what I just did is just a free hand sewing, so it's not a pattern where there's a particular measurement for sleeve, for getting the sleeve cap. The cap height of the sleeve is called cap height of the sleeve. That's just what I did. So when I came down, after putting my tape measurement, I have extra allowance of 9 inch. I have extra allowance of 1 inch, which makes it 9 for my sleeve. So I'm just going to draw a straight line and connect it to this part, and then the round sleeve for this measurement is 14. I'm going to mark 14 divided by 2, we have 7, and then I add my 1 inch, and then connect these lines together. So this is what we have. So I'll take this over again. You fold your sleeve, your fabric into two. You fold your fabric into two, and then you mark your starting line. And then you measure your shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement for this is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. I marked 8, and then I came down by 4. For an average person, you come down by 4, but for someone who's very, very slim, you come down by 3.5. This is just a free hand. It's my own method, and it's been working for me. But if you have other method, you can also go ahead with it. But this is what I do, and it has been working for me. So from the foot that I came down, I connected this line to meet this top part of the sleeve, and then I drew a straight line. And then at this part, I had to impute the round sleeve. That is this part of her arm is 14 divided by 2 is 7, and then I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. So you might be asking, what about here, which is this part? So for me, what I always do, because it's a freehand, anything I get here because of this part, it covers. So it's either falls for an average person, it falls between 14 to 16. So what I have here is exactly 16, which is going to fit her perfectly. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut this, and when I'm done cutting, I'll use it to cut the other part of the sleeve. So while that is being done, this is where we have to join the shoulder before joining the sleeve together. I've joined one part of the blouse. So now I want to join the shoulder. For you to join the shoulder, the fabric facing each other and then lining to lining is called fabric to fabric and lining to lining. Please watch carefully on what I'm doing. This is the front shoulder and this is the back shoulder. This is the front shoulder and this is the back shoulder. So right now I'm going to take this lining out and also take this back lining out. You understand? Do you get? So this is lining, this is material facing each other. That is, the front is facing the front of the back. The front of the front is facing the front fabric of the back, and then lining to the other side of the lining. Okay, hold on, let me open up this zip so you'll get it very well. So this is it. When you hear this word material facing each other, material to material, lining to lining, this is what it means, which simply means you are opening. I've opened the sleeve. You can see the shoulder rather. I've opened the shoulder, material facing each other. This is for one shoulder. Please, this is for one shoulder. So the end of this neckline, you place it together. They meet each other, and then you turn, I hope you are getting this. It's not difficult. If you don't understand, please watch this again. You can see material facing each other. So let me take this again. The end of the sleeve, which is on the neck part, this part of the sleeve, not this armhole area. this part of the sleeve. This is the part of the sleeve whereby you are joining the material of the front of your bodies to the material of your back of your bodies, not on this part where is the arm or shoulder. So I'm going to be joining the material. I'm going to be holding the material for the front to the material to the back, and the lining for the front to the lining to the back. So when you are done sewing, your seam won't be showing. Most people call this thing English sewing. Depends on what they call it in your country or in your state, what you understand. So when you are done sewing, they are not going to see, like for this blouse I'm wearing now, you can see the hem line, you can see the stitches. But when you are done, so you won't see this part of the sewing at all. That means the lining has covered it. So this is what we want to do. This is what we are trying to do. So this is the zip. This is this part of my body. This is this part. This part is the armhole. So we are picking this part of our neckline. This is the big. Okay, let me use the front because that part is the back. I just want you all to understand. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. When I place this on my bodies, I place this on my body. So I want to join this material to the back of the other material. When I place it on my body, oh, there's no one to help out though. Okay, so this is it. Usually, some people can just join. Some people can just join fabric. You just join your sewing, and then you take it to your either a close place where they used to weave clothes. But if you don't want to weave it, you just go through this process. I think this is actually neat and is better. So this is me trying to put it on my body for you all to understand what I'm trying to get here. I just need you all to understand what I'm trying to get here. So we are there. So this is what I'm trying to do. Take my camera back a bit. Okay, so this is it. If you look carefully, this is the neckline of the back, and you can see where the zip. So this is the edge that we are trying to join together. I hope that is clear. So now I've carried these two. I'll put them together. Let them join together. You join them together. This is the edge. This edge is on this part that I was talking about. So you join these two edges together. Usually, some people will just take this. Some people will just sew it straight. They will sew. Sorry, I didn't know my hand was off it. They'll just sew it straight and then you weave it. Well, it all depends on what you want. But for me, I don't like to work that way because I feel this is better and it's neater. It makes it very neat. So anything you want to weave is just the armhole. So you are going to take this now, material facing each other, which means these two materials, they are going to be facing each other. And lining facing lining. Then you bend. You see how simple it is? You bend, and then we have material on one side. We have lining on one side. When you bend, this is what you will get. This is what you get. You can see this. You can see they are kissing each other. When you bend, this is what you get. And then you take it straight to your sewing machine and then sew with 0.5 inch to the end. So that's what I'm going to do. And when I'm done doing that, I'll bring it and show you and show it so you'll see how it looks. So I'm done joining with 1/2 inch, and this is what we have. We have lining to lining, and then we have material to material. Please make sure when you are joining, this part is bent. That's the material is bending to the lining. As you can see, it's very faint. You can see the material is bent. You can see a bit just the way we did for the skirt. So this is what you get when after sewing. You notice that these two edges are together. You can see these two edges. This is for the back, this is for the front. Let me repeat this. This is the front, this is the back, this is the back, this is the front. You will see that these edges are clean. Let me put it on my body again so you see how it looks on me. So you will notice that that part, that is this part of your neckline, is very neat. You can see this part of the neckline is very neat. That's the purpose why we always do this English sewing. For me, it works for me very well. You can see no one is popping out or the other side is popping out. When you do this very well, this is the result that you get. So this is the joining. You can see the joining. It's very neat and it's really sitting very well. So any excesses you have, you trim it out. Any excesses you have, you can see there's some excess, you trim it out because of the sleeve. So now we want to join the sleeve of this one. This is what you will do. It makes it very easier because you're going to join the sleeve, and from joining the sleeve, you are joining the front and the back of them. You are joining the front and the back. You are doing the front and the back of the design. So I want to trim out this excess that I have. So this is what I'm going to do. Your scissors should not go too deep, because if you don't have any excess, then good to go. But if you know you have, you just trim it out again. So right now, I've gone ahead to open it. Remember what we're doing. I've gone ahead to open it, and then I'll take my sleeve. Remember how we drafted our sleeve. Always notch the edge of your sleeve. This is called notching. If you don't know what notching is, it's called notching. It will help you understand where you put your sleeve to join it, so everything will be equal. And then I place this on this part of my sleeve. Let me shift the camera a bit. I placed it on the part of my sleeve. Okay, it's closer now. So I place it on this part of my sleeve. I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch. If you are not very sure, if you can't do freehand, use your office pin to hold it. Use your office pin to hold it. Okay, let me just make that as an example. Use your office pin to hold it. You just notice that everything are just coming together, and then you use it to hold this part. Whatever you are doing, it's covering for both the allowance on the blouse. So you are going to do this because this is an ankara, so it's really not coming out very well. So but when you are sewing, you can see after arranging it after arranging it very well, you can see it's straight. But the whole idea is that you are sewing from this edge. The whole idea is that you are sewing from this edge on the sleeve, you are sewing to the other side. I'll just take out my office pen because my office pen is not making it visible for you guys to see. It's really not making it visible. I'm just going to place this aside. But this is for the purpose of those who don't know how to work with free hand and you still want to work with your office pen. The whole idea is just to place the edge of your sleeve. You place it on this part, on this joint part of your shoulder line, and then you sew from one edge, from this edge, you sew to the other edge of the blouse. You sew on the other edge of the blouse. So when I'm done sewing, I'm going to show you how it looks. Then I'll repeat the same thing on the other part of the sleeve. So I've gone to place the sleeve like I did. I joined it, so this is what it looks like, and this is the inner and this is the outside part of the blouse. So this is how it looks like. This is the front and this is the back. So the next thing for you to do is to bend your sleeve by 0.5 or whatever you want to use in bending. You sew to the end of the sleeve and then put this together. You put this together, you can see how it's becoming. You put it together and then you sew, with whatever allowance or the inch you want. You sew from the sleeve, to the down of the blouse. So when I'm done doing, I'm going to show you how it looks like, and I will repeat it on the other side of the blouse. So that will be all for the blouse. But before that, let me sew and show you how it looks. So I've gone ahead to sew. Like I mentioned, I bent the edge of the sleeve by 0.5. So this is what we have. And then I started sewing from this part. I sewed from this part. Whatever measurements you have, you do. I sewed from this part. I passed the armhole, and then I sew straight to that. So you can see that if you want to weave, you are not doing a lot because already the bodice is covered. You're just going to overlock this part and overlock the armhole for the blouse. The shoulders has been closed already, so it's very simple. It's not difficult. So I'm going to be repeating the same process on the other side of the blouse, and then when I'm done, I will show you the final look of the blouse. So I've gone ahead to do for the other side. You can see, so it's very easy. So the case is too tight, or whatever you did is too tight for yourself or that of your customer, all you have to do is to start sewing again from the arm, from the sleeve straight to the bodice. So you don't need to start loosening the armhole. So I think for me, this is the best way I fix my sleeve for most of the outfits that I make. So this is it. I'm just going to turn to the other side and show you how it looks. Please give it a good press. Give it a good press. You can see how it looks on the table. Give it a good press so you have a clean finishing. So for the skirts, we are going to what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat the same process. I'm going to repeat the same process for the skirt, and then these are the process. Let me just quickly explain, and when I'm done sewing, I'll show you how it looks. So the first thing you're going to do for the skirt is to join the zipper parts together. So on your skirt, you will come down from this part by 9 or 8. It all depends on what you want. For an average person, for a slim person, someone that's very slim, a slim person and an average person, they share the same thing. You come down by 8. But if the person has a big butt, like it's very big, you come down by 9. For an average person or a slim person, you come down by 8 from your waistline. But for someone who has a very big butt, you come down by max. You come down by 9.5 or 9. So it all depends on the shape of your customer. So you're going to sew like this. So I'm just using my free hands to mark out the lines. You go in by 1, and then you can see the shape that I'm creating. You sew this way and then sew and then do it straight. So this is it. So this is where I'm going to be coming. For me, I'm coming down by 9. I'm not coming down by 8. So whatever you want to do, if you're coming down by 8 or 9, so please go ahead. So you're going to sew from here, and when you get to this point, you double stitch. Make sure it's very tight, and then you sew to this part. You have to give it a slit because it's a very short skirt. I'll go up by 3.5. It's a very short skirt. I'll go up by 3.5, which I just did. I'm going to sew from here a free stitches. I'll give it to this part. Make sure the stitch is tight. I double stitch on this part, and then sew. Give it another tight stitches. I get to this point, I double stitch, and then I leave this part open. So this part from here to here, 3.5. That's what I give. You can either do 4 or 3.5. It all depends on your preference. So from this part will be the slit at the back. So I'm going to do that now, and then when I'm done, I'll fix the sleeve. Sorry, I'll fix the zip for the back. When I'm done fixing the zip for the back, I'm also going to join it and then show you the final. So guys, so we are going to the end of this video. So this is the final look of the skirt. So you can see how neat it is, how I am the seam. And when I open up, you're going to see that the whole of the inside is neat. You don't have to do any overlocking at the edge. Everything is well covered. So thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. If you know you enjoyed this, please kindly like, comment, and share to your fellow soulmates. And also hit on the notification bell so you can get notified once I upload any sewing tutorial. Thank you so so much for staying to the end of this video, and you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.